Hi, everyone. So the rise of the internet has made a new kind of global celebrity possible. The popular video sharing platform YouTube has proven especially fertile ground for a group of video content creators who've amassed a fan base in the tens of millions and growing every day. One YouTuber has turned his fame into a force for good, raising millions of dollars for charity by doing what he loves to do most, making crazy, fun videos. I'm Brian Brewer, and I'm Director of Marketing and Communications at the Cancer Research Institute.
And I'm Cherry Sathia, Social Media Manager here at CRI.
And we're thrilled to introduce you to one of YouTube's most influential celebrities, Mark Fischbach, better known as Markiplier. Mark has made a name for himself playing video games while sharing his often hilarious and spontaneous reactions. He's also appeared in movies and animations, is a singer and voiceover artist, regularly appears at comics conventions, and has toured North America, Europe, and Australia as the star of his own improv show. And if you haven't watched his Try Not to Laugh video series, you haven't lived.
Like many of us, Mark has been touched by cancer, and we'll hear more about that in a moment. But we're sitting down with him today because he did something really special for the Cancer Research Institute. Last year in March, when he surpassed 20 million subscribers, he announced that he'd be celebrating this milestone by donating to CRI 100% of proceeds raised from the sale of his new calendar during a short period. In just 2 days, calendar sales raised nearly $500,000 for the Cancer Research Institute.
And this isn't the first time Mark has raised money for the Cancer Research Institute. He chose us back in 2013 to benefit from one of his first marathon gaming sessions. At the time, his fan base was 600,000 strong, but today, only 5 years later, it's over 22 million, putting him near the top of the most subscribed YouTuber channels. Mark, we're delighted you could join us today via Skype. Welcome.
Thanks. I don't know what else to say. You guys vamped me so much. I feel good, and I feel really good. Thank you.
Yeah, well, the first thing I want to say is just thank you from all of us at the Cancer Research Institute. Thank you from the scientists we support, and of course, thank you from the cancer patients who benefit from all the research that's made possible from support from donors like you, and of course, all of your fans who contributed to this campaign. So a resounding thank you for that.
No problem. Happy to help.
So when did you first start making YouTube videos? Did you even think then that you'd end up where you are today?
No, obviously not. I had no idea that I was going to be celebrating 20 million subs by being naked in that calendar. I started out in 2012. I had no idea what was going to happen, and I had no idea how far it could go. I didn't even know I could do it for a living when I started.
Well, you were actually in school at the time, right? Doing biomedical research studies. And I imagine people must have thought you were crazy when you decided to drop out and do this full time.
Yeah, to some extent. My mom especially. My mom was very big on education and whatnot. So it was really a decision that came down to what do I need to focus on? But I only got to that point after I started making money. I didn't quit school until about a year after I started, because I was doing both at the same time. And when it started actually making some money for me, that I was able to actually think of it as a career instead, which is a weird prospect because I never imagined that I would be able to actually make money from it. Because when I started, the partner program on YouTube wasn't even fully fleshed out yet. It was difficult to get into it, and it was harder even to get supported through YouTube in it. And so it was never really an aspiration for me. But once it got to that point, I had to decide because I saw a potential road where I could go, where I could really take a risk and take a chance and do something even bigger than what I was planning to do with biomedical engineering, that I couldn't pass it up, and I just had to keep going that way.
Well, I would say you made the right choice, or you certainly made a good choice.
Oh, thanks.
You seem to be having a lot of fun doing what you're doing. I don't know how many biomedical engineers have as much fun as you appear to be having.
Well, I mean, I worked at co-op while I was in school, and it was extremely boring sitting at a desk. But I was willing to do that, I suppose. But I have no regrets.
How have you cultivated such a large following so quickly? And what is it about your work that your fans enjoy?
Well, probably they're just as crazy as I am for the most part. But it really, like, people say how to do it so quickly, but it blows my mind that it was only a little over 6 years ago now. Because for me, it's very slowly I don't think I did anything particularly special in trying to grow my channel, because I never really went at it that I was trying to make myself bigger. I was only trying to make better things. I was trying to improve what I could do, not necessarily trying to make content that reached more people. Now, I did do a lot of different things, and some of those hit with people, some of those didn't, some really landed. A lot of it in the beginning was about games, but then pretty early on, I started spreading out into sketch comedy, and I started spreading out into things that I weren't really good at and trying to explore different avenues. And I think what my fans like the most is that they have no idea what I'm doing next. And with me, nothing ever lasts. So they shouldn't get complacent with what I'm doing. So yeah, I think just constantly trying to explore new territory for me is the only reason that I'm still here today.
Is that what you like most about your work? This your ability to kind of just take on new things and experiment in general?
Yeah, I think so, because I have what a lot of people crave in their lives, which is freedom. Like, I have freedom to do whatever I want. And a lot of people in my sphere of YouTube, they have freedom and they do whatever they want with it. And sometimes that's less than savory things, and that's fine, I guess. It doesn't affect me. But for me, I feel like with what I do on YouTube and what I do with an audience like the one that I have, is I have to be responsible about it. I have to be very careful with it. I have to make sure that, I am respectful of the people who are willing to give me time. And in doing that, I feel like it's more important than ever to try to point them towards causes that are important to me. And they may not always agree. They may not, like, I do a pet charity. Some people may not be like, oh, I don't need to donate to animals. I do cancer, and someone's like, oh, I have no one in my life that has been affected by cancer, which is rare. But it's like there. I think the variety really does make it more broad-reaching and make it so that people are always interested in what's happening next. And I think it's not something that I ever consciously think about. So I never really care if I'm right or wrong about that. But the way I go about it is just keep changing.
So when did you get the idea that you could motivate your fans to donate money to a charity?
So it was pretty early on. I went to a convention, San Diego Comic-Con, with my brother, and I went there without any expectations of meeting people, because I had about 2,000 subscribers at the time, but maybe I hoped in the back of my head. And while I was there, 5 people recognized me, and what that did was it really solidified in my mind that the people watching my videos are real, because it's so easy to forget that numbers on the internet, or anonymity on the internet, makes it seem like they aren't real people. They don't have real lives. But as soon as I got home from that, I sat down and I thought, like, these are real living people that are watching me. And I can either just be an entertainer, or I can be someone that is trying to do something a little more. And I'm not the first to do it. I'm never going to say that I'm the first to do it. People shouldn't assume that I'm the first to do it. Pretty much everything I've ever done on YouTube is copying someone else in some other way. But when it came down to that realization, I realized I had to try to do something a little more. And so I knew that people did charity live streams. So I thought, hey, I can do that. I can play video games for 24 hours and try to get people to raise money. And it's hard. It's real hard. I I was trying to raise $1,000, and for me at that time, I was in crippling debt. $1,000 to me was like, that's so much money. Like, but I think we can do it. I'm reaching high in the sky to do it. And it is so much money for charity, just to be given willingly by a bunch of people on the internet. And it took the full 24 hours. And the last, like, half of it was in the last few hours of the stream. And it was like early in the morning, and I was so angry because I was grumpy and tired, and the game I was playing was super frustrating. But we did hit that goal. Like, we did hit it, and it meant so much to me that people believed in what I was doing. And it meant so much to realize that I was right. These people are real and they want to help out. And if I can point them in the right direction, then I think I'm going in the right direction. And so I just,
Yeah, they're definitely real. I mentioned to some of your associates that she's now 15 years old, my niece. is a huge fan of yours. And when you first donated to us back in 2013, she was 10, and she just went bonkers. So she's so super excited that I'm talking to you right now. So your fans are definitely real. Now you mentioned marathon gaming is, and that 24 hours staying up has been a way that you and others have raised money, but that's not what you did for us this time. In fact, this time,
oh no,
this is our autographed copy of Markiplier's Tasteful Nudes calendar, and I won't open it up and show the audience, but I think this is no longer available, right? This was an exclusive 2-day.
It was just the 2 days, and then I signed them all, and then like never again.
Well, it took you forever to sign. I remember seeing your video.
yeah, it was 2 weeks, 8 days in total, but it spread over 2 weeks. That was. I don't talk about those dark times. That was not fun.
So what gave you the idea to do a nudes calendar?
Well, I mean, it'd been a running joke that it's kind of a joke on the internet, like send nudes or whatever. And it's like someone's like, hey, like when are we gonna get some nudes? And I'd always said, or I'd said before that like I am okay with tasteful nudes because like there's nothing overtly wrong with like something that's done in a tasteful way. And then the logical next step for my audience was like, well, when are you gonna put out your tasteful nudes? They're like, oh, I'll do it for 20 million. And like everyone was like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. And I kept saying I would, and I kind of boxed myself into a corner, and I was kind of like hoping but not hoping that I'd have to do it. And when it came down to it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna commit to this. I'm really gonna do it. I'm gonna try to. I number one, I was trying to get in good shape before it, but just like it was just a good motivational thing that like if I never grow any bigger than 20 million, I can say that I really went all out. I put it all out there, and I put it all out there in the way that I wanted to get it out there, like all for charity, and people blew it out of the water with the number sold. And like, I'm just, I'm blown away that people like want to see me naked that badly, but I'm also blown away that it can be done in the right way for good. And that's special.
So for those of you who are not lucky enough to own this calendar, just for the record, I would say I'd put it at PG-13, and that's only because of some of the horror movie elements in there. But it's
oh yeah. There's no real nudity involved. There, like, you won't see anything of me that's totally obscene. Like it's very like creative censorship. Like in the cornfield, it's like a corn cob in the middle of the way. Everything's always blocked by something in any image. So I'm not completely butt naked, but when I was taking the pictures, I was completely butt naked. So yeah.
How many days of photo shoots did it take to make the calendar?
So I mean, it was just one. Well, like we did it ourselves. Like my girlfriend took the pictures. Like we just got some props. Like everything. I like to do things in house, so to speak. I like to do things just by myself if I can do them. And so it makes it more authentic. I feel my girlfriend and I. Also, I didn't want anyone to see me naked. I didn't want to be like on a stage with a photographer like totally naked. So like we edited the pictures ourselves. It was all just in Photoshop. Like we did it all ourselves. And in doing that, like I can take more pride in it. Like there's so many people that want to try to pass off the work on someone else because it's hard. And I'm not calling people lazy for doing that, but like part of what makes YouTube great is its authenticity. And I feel like me authentically taking all the skills that I've learned to this point to make a nude calendar is really special. And I didn't print it myself, obviously. I don't know how to do that, and I don't have the equipment, so I can't say I did everything. But the creative behind it, like, I wanted to do it myself, and I didn't want people to have to see me naked. So yeah.
It was very, very popular. Mark, let me ask you, how do you choose which charities to donate to?
I'll debate with my friends, or I'll get some info from the audience about a cause that really resonates with people. There's too many people suggesting charities that I could possibly do them all, unfortunately. But I'll usually pick one that's close to home. I vetted on Charity Navigator. I tried to do some research to see if it's good, the financials are good, like it's not just all going to CEOs and whatnot. And that's usually it's random. Like it's just completely random. Yeah.
So you mentioned finding charities that resonate with you, and of course, cancer has been a part of your story. Would you share a little bit with our viewers on how cancer has affected you?
Yeah. When I was in high school, my senior year of high school, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, lung cancer. He'd smoked all his life, but the unfortunate thing is like he quit 8 years prior to his cancer diagnosis. But you know, he had like 40 years of smoking, like on record, and that's probably what got to him. And like it was just really heartbreaking to see this guy that I'd looked up to my whole life, my dad, he was my hero, just be like worn down by cancer. Just like from the person he was to this unrecognizable person that like was in so much pain. And it's just like he faded away. And it's rough because there's so many people that go through that, young and old. Like it doesn't, like age is indeterminate. Like there's so many people that see that, and not just the people suffering from cancer, but the people in their lives. Like it was so hard on my whole family just to have to pitch in and both endure and try to help, but there's nothing you can do to help, so you feel helpless, and like it's emotionally draining and it's physically draining, and it's one of the hardest things that anyone can go through. But you know, at the end of it, my dad passed away, but there's more and more hope every year. Like I don't think we're gonna cure cancer anytime soon, but the only way we're ever gonna get there is by constantly working towards it. And then someday, like it's gonna be like waking up one day and being like, oh, that's beaten now. Like the long road leading up to this moment, it'll come, and then I imagine it won't even be like there'll be some fanfare and people are like we beat cancer and sensational and stuff. But I think like the the main relatable thing when people really realize, they'll sit down and they'll realize that people won't have to go through that hell again. And I think that's a very special day that I look forward to very much.
Yeah. Well, you just answered my next question, which was, what do you hope our organization will accomplish with the money that you've raised? But you pretty much answered that question, because that's precisely what we do in terms of funding research all around the world, on a type of treatment called cancer immunotherapy, which I don't know if you know, but the director of our scientific advisory council just won the Nobel Prize for this work. So
Wow.
it's got a lot of promise, and I hope that by plugging away at it every day and all the scientists we fund, we're going to get to that day for you a lot sooner than you think.
Yeah, I hope so. And the best thing that we can all do at this point is just like keep working at it, raise money where we can, fund the people that are doing the work that need the funding, and spare no expense to make sure that this is beaten as soon as possible.
Right. Do you have any advice for others for using YouTube as a way to raise money or as a fundraising platform?
Uh, don't be afraid to start, because anybody can do it at any time. You don't even need to do YouTube to like raise money in this way. You don't need to be a career YouTuber or a career streamer to do this. Because with the beauty of this world that we live in now, and the horror is that everybody's connected through the internet. And what that allows is anybody can pick up their phone, start live streaming, or make a video trying to put forward this idea that people should donate money to a specific charity, or people should volunteer in their community, or people should reach out. Like you can do that at any time, and it won't reach millions of people probably, but it'll reach some people. Like even if it's just in your own circle of friends, like it'll reach somebody and it'll resonate with somebody. And if you're honest and you're truthful about it, like it may change someone's mind to give that moment. And if everybody did it, like it would do far more work than like me asking my fan base to do it. Like everybody has an opportunity to help out, and not enough people take the time to do it. And I'm not berating people for not doing it, but I'm saying there's so much opportunity to expand the way we like help our communities in this world.
Yeah, well, hopefully that'll be an inspiration, not only to your fans, but anyone else who comes across you in all those many exciting experimental avenues that you find
Yeah,
yourself going down.
yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, well, Mark, thanks so much for spending this time with us. I know you're a busy guy. We're thrilled to have had this opportunity to speak with you. We look forward to putting those dollars to the best possible use. And we hope that you'll stay in touch with us.
Oh, sounds good. Thank you so much. I'm sure I'll do a charity event for Cancer Research Institute at some point in the future.
Awesome. All right. Take care. Enjoy that nice warm weather. We're in the Northeast where it's freezing cold.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I just left Cincinnati, so cold is far behind me.
Yeah.
You guys take care, okay?
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye.